The 2026 FIFA World Cup, a historic expanded global event, is already getting overshadowed by politics because days before the official World Cup draw.
Our next story is about the Football World Cup. It comes once every 4 years. It is organized by a body called FIFA. FIFA is the body that governs world football.
The Federation's crackdown is sparking criticism overseas. The former FIFA president is calling for soccer fans to boycott the World Cup in the U.S.
The 2026 FIFA World Cup was expected to be a historic moment for the United States. Many people believed it would show the country's power, wealth, and ability to organize the biggest sporting event on the planet. The tournament was designed to be larger than any World Cup before it. Matches would be played across North America, bringing together millions of fans and billions of viewers from around the world. However, as time passed, the situation slowly began to change. What was meant to be a clear American showcase gradually turned into a more complicated story. The shift did not happen suddenly. Instead, it developed step by step, through a series of decisions and challenges that slowly changed the balance between the three host nations. In November 2022, FIFA officially confirmed that the 2026 World Cup would be hosted by three countries: the United States, Canada, and Mexico. This decision was historic because it was the first time in World Cup history that three nations would share hosting duties. The tournament format was also expanded. Instead of the usual 32 teams, the competition would feature 48 teams. Because of this expansion, the total number of matches increased to 104, making it the largest World Cup ever organized. From the beginning, most people assumed that the United States would carry the biggest responsibility. The country has a large number of modern stadiums, strong financial resources, and a massive sports industry. The original plan clearly showed this expectation. Out of the 104 matches, 60 were scheduled to take place in American cities. Mexico was assigned 13 games, while Canada received 10. Important matches were also expected to be played in the United States. The final was planned for an American stadium, and both semifinals were also likely to be hosted there. Major quarterfinal games were also placed in U.S. venues. The message behind this plan was clear. The United States was seen as the central stage of the tournament. There were good reasons for this belief. The country has some of the most impressive sports facilities in the world. MetLife Stadium in New Jersey, which can hold more than 82,000 spectators, is known for hosting large international events. AT&T Stadium in Dallas, with seating for more than 80,000 people, is another huge venue that has hosted major sports competitions. SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles, which cost around $5 billion to build, is considered one of the most advanced stadiums ever constructed. In addition to these stadiums, the United States has many NFL venues spread across the country. These facilities offer modern technology, excellent broadcasting systems, and the ability to handle massive crowds. Because of these advantages, few people doubted that the United States would play the dominant role in the tournament. But things began to shift in early 2024. Several American host cities started facing delays that went beyond normal planning problems. Agreements between FIFA and stadium owners became difficult to finalize. Many of the stadiums involved were owned by NFL teams, and negotiations over revenue sharing, branding rights, and operational control took longer than expected. These contracts were extremely important. Without them, FIFA could not move forward with detailed planning for the tournament. Every major event requires clear agreements about who controls advertising space, ticket sales, sponsorship visibility, and stadium operations. At the same time, security planning also faced complications. Large international events like the World Cup require strict safety measures. Federal agencies, state governments, and local police departments all needed to coordinate their procedures with FIFA's international security guidelines. Unfortunately, reaching full agreement proved slower than expected. There were also delays involving sponsorship deals. Major global companies had already invested hundreds of millions of dollars in the tournament. However, differences between federal and local policies created confusion about taxes, commercial rights, and business regulations. Large sponsors usually want clear answers years before an event begins, so these uncertainties caused concern. By March 2024, an internal FIFA report highlighted several problems. 7 of the 11 American host cities were behind schedule on important preparation milestones. 3 cities had already gone over their expected budgets. Even more worrying was the lack of a clear recovery plan that could guarantee everything would be ready on time. While the United States was dealing with these challenges, Canada was moving forward smoothly. Toronto finished important stadium upgrades 3 months earlier than expected. Vancouver made major improvements to BC Place Stadium, including advanced lighting systems and a modern retractable roof that could adapt to different weather conditions. These improvements were considered some of the most advanced stadium features in North America. Canadian cities were not only meeting their deadlines, but many projects were also staying under budget. Security planning was handled directly between FIFA and the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. This cooperation allowed both sides to meet international standards without long delays. The Canadian federal and provincial governments also worked closely together. They coordinated transportation upgrades, crowd management plans, and emergency response systems. This level of cooperation helped keep preparations on track. Mexico was also progressing quickly. The country already had experience hosting the World Cup in 1970 and 1986, so officials understood the scale of the challenge. Estadio Azteca in Mexico City, one of the most famous football stadiums in the world, underwent major renovations. The upgrades included improved seating, modern infrastructure, and new digital technology designed to enhance the fan experience. Other host cities such as Guadalajara and Monterrey also completed their improvements 6 months earlier than planned. Transportation systems around these cities were expanded, and airports were upgraded to handle the expected increase in international visitors. Advanced security systems using artificial intelligence were also introduced to help manage large crowds safely. By September 2024, FIFA President Gianni Infantino reviewed a detailed report comparing the readiness of the 3 host countries. The report contained more than 300 pages of data and analysis. The results showed a clear difference. The United States was facing delays in several cities and had rising costs in others. Canada was meeting all its major deadlines and had even finished some projects early. Mexico had exceeded expectations in several areas and showed that it could take on more responsibilities if necessary. At that point, the situation became more serious. The World Cup is not just a football tournament. It is a massive global event worth billions of dollars. Sponsors, broadcasters, and international partners all require certainty and clear schedules. Any major delay could create financial losses and damage the tournament's reputation. Because of these risks, FIFA began discussing possible adjustments. Between October and December 2024, several private meetings took place between FIFA officials and representatives from the United States, Canada, and Mexico. These discussions focused on managing risk, protecting commercial agreements, and ensuring that the tournament would run smoothly. In the end, the negotiations led to a major restructuring of the tournament schedule. Originally, the United States was supposed to host 60 matches. That number was reduced to 48. 12 matches were moved to the other host countries. Mexico's number of games increased from 13 to 29, giving the country 16 additional matches. Canada's share also grew significantly, rising from 10 to 27 matches. This change did more than simply adjust numbers on a schedule. Some of the most important knockout matches were reassigned. Quarter-final games that were originally planned for American cities were moved to Toronto and Mexico City. One of the semi-final matches was officially given to Toronto. This meant that one of the most watched games in the entire tournament would take place in Canada instead of the United States. For many observers, this development was surprising. Despite having the world's largest economy, enormous financial resources, and advanced sports infrastructure, the United States ended up losing the chance to host a World Cup semifinal. The consequences of this decision reach far beyond football. It shows how global events are shaped not only by size and wealth, but also by preparation, coordination, and the ability to deliver complex projects on time. Globe showing Europe-Africa soccer ball global leadership is not based only on power or money. Very often, it also depends on how the world sees a country's ability to organize, plan, and deliver results. For many years, the United States was viewed as one of the most dependable leaders in major international projects. When large global events were organized, people usually assumed that the U.S. would handle its responsibilities without difficulty. Its strong economy, modern infrastructure, and influence in international institutions helped build that image. However, the preparations for the 2026 FIFA World Cup showed that reputation alone is not always enough. When FIFA carefully examined the readiness of the host nations, the final decisions were based on performance rather than history. In other words, the organization focused more on which countries were fully prepared instead of relying on past prestige. This shift revealed an important lesson about modern global events. Planning, teamwork, and efficiency matter just as much as tradition. Canada's growing role in the tournament reflects more than simple organization skills. Over the past 10 years, interest in soccer has increased rapidly across the country. Fans who once followed the sport quietly are now filling stadiums and supporting their national teams with passion. A major moment came when Canada's men's national team qualified for the 2022 World Cup in Qatar, after being absent from the competition for 36 years. That return created excitement across the nation and reminded many Canadians that their country could compete on the biggest football stage. Youth participation in soccer has also grown steadily. More young players are joining academies, school teams, and community leagues. At the same time, investment in domestic competitions and sports facilities has continued to rise. Government officials at both federal and provincial levels have recognized that the 2026 World Cup could change how the world views Canada as a sports nation. Because of this opportunity, Canadian leaders worked together to ensure that preparations stayed on track. Government departments, security forces, and sports organizations coordinated their efforts from the early stages. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police played an important role in designing security systems that matched international standards. Their cooperation with FIFA helped avoid delays that often appear during large international projects. This level of cooperation showed that Canada was treating the tournament as a national priority. Instead of separate institutions working independently, many agencies collaborated closely to solve problems quickly. As a result, several stadium upgrades and transportation improvements were finished earlier than expected. These achievements strengthened Canada's position during FIFA's evaluation process. Mexico's role in the tournament carries a deep emotional connection to football history. The country has hosted the World Cup twice before, once in 1970 and again in 1986. Many unforgettable moments from those tournaments are still remembered by fans around the world. One of the most famous venues connected to those memories is Estadio Azteca in Mexico City. This legendary stadium witnessed Brazil's incredible victory in the 1970 World Cup led by Pelé, one of the greatest players in football history. Years later, the same stadium became the stage for the unforgettable performances of Diego Maradona during the 1986 tournament. Because of these historic moments, Estadio Azteca holds a special place in the hearts of football fans across the globe. For the 2026 tournament, Mexico decided to modernize this iconic stadium while still preserving its historic character. Renovations included updated seating, improved facilities, and new digital technology designed to create a better experience for supporters. By combining tradition with modern improvements, Mexico showed that it respected its football heritage while also preparing for the future. Upgrades were not limited to stadiums. Transportation networks around host cities were expanded, airports received improvements, and new safety systems were installed. These projects demonstrated that Mexico was ready to manage a large international event with millions of visitors. When Gianni Infantino reviewed the detailed report comparing the readiness of the three host nations, it became clear that Canada and Mexico had made strong progress. Their preparation was consistent, organized, and supported by cooperation between government agencies and sports authorities. For the United States, the final decision to reduce the number of matches from 60 to 48 was both disappointing and instructive. The country remains one of the primary hosts of the tournament. American cities will still stage many group matches and knockout games, and millions of fans will travel there during the competition. Hotels, airlines, restaurants, and media companies will still benefit financially from the event. However, the most prestigious matches, the ones that usually define the tournament, are no longer concentrated in the United States. A semi-final match has been assigned to Toronto, giving Canada the opportunity to host one of the most watched games in world sports. Several important quarter-final matches have also been moved to Canadian and Mexican venues. When the tournament begins on June 11, 2026, the world will see a much broader picture of North America. Toronto's skyline will appear on television screens across the globe as fans gather in the city's stadium. Vancouver will showcase its Pacific coastline and modern sports facilities. Meanwhile, Mexico City will once again become the center of global football attention, as matches are played inside the historic Estadio Azteca. The visual story of the tournament will therefore stretch across 3 different countries instead of focusing mainly on American cities. The 2026 World Cup will be enormous in scale. With 48 national teams and 104 matches, it will be the largest tournament in football history. Billions of people will watch the games on television and online platforms. The event will generate record-breaking revenue through sponsorship deals, broadcasting rights, ticket sales, and tourism. Yet behind all the excitement lies an important lesson about accountability and preparation. The redistribution of matches shows how quickly influence can change when deadlines are missed or coordination fails. In today's competitive global environment, simply having strong infrastructure is not enough. Large projects require careful planning, clear communication between institutions, and strict financial management. For the United States, this situation does not mean decline. Instead, it highlights the need to adapt and strengthen coordination between federal agencies, state governments, and private organizations. International partners and sponsors value reliability above symbolism. They want assurance that every part of the event will run smoothly. Canada and Mexico earned greater roles in the tournament because they demonstrated discipline, cooperation, and steady progress during FIFA's review process. Their successful preparation increased their credibility on the global stage and showed that they could handle larger responsibilities. Although some critics questioned FIFA's decision, the organization argued that the changes were made to reduce risk and ensure that the tournament would be delivered without major disruptions. The 2026 World Cup will still take place across North America, and the United States will remain a key part of the event. However, the overall story has evolved. Instead of one dominant host nation controlling most of the spotlight, 3 countries will now share the stage in a more balanced way. This shift offers a powerful reminder that leadership in global projects is not guaranteed by past achievements alone. Success depends on preparation, teamwork, and the ability to deliver results when expectations are highest. Now the conversation turns to the fans. Do you think FIFA made the correct decision by giving more matches to Canada and Mexico? Or should the United States have been given extra time to solve its challenges and keep the original schedule? Will supporters even think about these behind-the-scenes decisions when the semi-finals begin in 2026? Or will the excitement on the field make those debates disappear? Share your thoughts and join the discussion. Football fans around the world have different opinions, and every perspective adds something valuable to the conversation. Soccer Ball Globe showing Europe Africa.